I've heard that this year they've got more like a plastic bracelet to hand over. Previously it's been more along the lines of a sweatband, so I don't know if this is a COVID thing or just a evolution, but there was concern over sort of the smallness of the item they're going to be handing over. We've never seen a drop of this bracelet or this baton before. It'd be heartbreaking to see it. It'd be so frustrating. It's such an entertaining event anyway. We don't need the drama of that as well. I think the tactics, the order that you put your team in is so important. I think you have to be in contention from the start. I'm interested to see Ciara Mageean and Esther Guerrera for Spain and Ireland on these first legs. It's slightly longer as well, and Elise van der Est as well for Belgium. This should be such a competitive first leg of this mixed relay. This first leg will be ever so slightly longer. Elise van der Est, she won the short course at the Belgian Championships in horrendously muddy conditions, so really showing great prowess over the mud there for a track specialist. But you can see them holding nothing back in the opening stretch of this mixed relay.
Certainly not. Ireland have gone for the approach of putting their strongest woman first and their strongest man on the anchor leg. That would be Andrew Coscoran, who's an Olympic semi-finalist at 1500 coming up later. But it's interesting tactics, because at times I think, Hannah, in a relay, you know, sometimes in a mixed relay event like this, yes, you don't want to be out of contention on the first leg or your race could be over, but at the same time, sometimes they might look at each other and kind of wait, and it could come down to a kick, and there's almost a danger of wasting your best athlete if you put them at the start.
I think you're right. I think, but I do think you need to be in contention. I think we've seen it a little bit. This is only the fourth running of this event, and if you can't have your team in contention on this first leg, you kind of lost the race already. It's very hard to make up ground in a cross-country race. So I'm not surprised to see Ciara Mageean and Elise van der Est and Esther Guerrera on this leg. I am surprised not to see Alex Bell, the team captain of Britain, choosing to save her for later in the race, but perhaps they feel she can run strongly on her own. But Anna Toth here, she's making a really strong bid to get a lead in this race, and why not? Why not absolutely empty the tank and do everything you can? But I'd be worried about the lap tick as you get towards these corners and as the mud gets a little bit heavier.
Well, I think we're seeing here is a steeplechase runner and an athlete who's used to running 3K steeple and 5K races, going up against a bunch of milers and saying, you know what, I'm not going to make it easy for you. You're going to be hurting a long way from home. And Liliane Toth has laid the gauntlet down here midway through this opening 1500 meter leg, and the rest, really, they're just not choosing, or maybe they're just not able to go with her at the moment, because Toth has got, what, 25 meter advantage here, and she's gonna, but this is where it's gonna start. It's been mostly downhill, flat, good running at the moment. She's gonna swing this left-hand turn, and she'll be faced with a hill that will put plenty of lactate in the legs very quickly.
The second half of this lap will be quite telling. Ciara Mageean, Elise van der Est, they've grown up running on surfaces like this, probably over longer distances. Hannah Nuttall as well. This is a very British cross-country terrain. Esther Guerrera, though, she looks to be handling that mud very well. She's so strong. She's to run 800 for so many years and has really made herself into a 1500 metre runner and a mixed relay cross-country specialist. But they've got to get moving and get back on terms with Anna Toth if they want to keep their team in contention for medals. See Ciara Mageean driving up that little hill there. We think that's the sharpest hill of the course. A bit of a long drag of an uphill after this, and then it will be fast, flat running as they finish off this 1500 metre lap.
It's hard to tell if Toth, she looks like she might be getting a little bit tired. Ciara Mageean is leading the home pack, and you can see both sides of the course line, 6, 7, 8 people deep. They're lending their support here to the two-time European medalist in Ciara Mageean to try and keep them in contention for medals with the mixed relay. The Irish figured this is one of their best medal chances of the day. Elise van der Est, she utilised a great kick to win that European Indoor title back in Tyrone in March. She'll try to do the same here to get Belgium up into the medal positions. Toth has gone hard from the gun, and it looks to have paid off at the moment, but there's still, this last 200 metres could feel like a very long way with all the big kickers who are starting to close her down from behind. And we see Laura Hoffman of Switzerland is fast closing in now on the lead, along with Ciara Mageean.
And Laura Hoffman's judged this really well, 800 metre specialist, just choosing to sit back in that first half, and she's coming through now. But Ciara Mageean looks like she's paced this fantastically well as well. I think it could be Ciara Mageean of Ireland handing over in the lead to her Irish team. They're the fastest on paper if you add up their 1500 metre times, which is not what I expected. But can they convert that form on paper into a victory? Ciara Mageean running a fantastic leg in this opening leg of the mixed relay.
Well, I think when Ciara McGeehan pulls on an Irish vest, she talks more proudly than any Irish athlete you'll ever come across. It's like pulling on the Superman vest, because she finds an extra couple of seconds every time she gets into that Irish vest. The athlete who's based over in England at Team New Balance Manchester, coached by Steve Vernon, whose athletes running for about 4 or 5 different nations here today, takes off the wristbands, hands it over to Luke McCann, a fellow alumni of UCD just down the road from here, and Ireland has the lead and the crowd are going crazy.
That was a nice safe handover. I like that. But Ireland from Hungary. It's Switzerland in second. So that's not the names we would have expected to see high up. The Swiss team putting one of their best runners on the first leg, but there they've got themselves in the silver medal position, out of trouble. But look at Ireland striding away down the field. Luke McCann is looking good. Can he pace himself well on paper? Apologies. Can he pace himself well on his own? He should be able to live with the rest of these athletes, but it's a whole different ball game when you're out there on your own.
It very much is. He's a very promising up-and-coming athlete, is Luke McCann. A lot of people in Irish athletics have been very excited about the progress he's made. He's only 23 years old. He's run 146 for 800, 336 for 1500 metres. His sister Jodie was in action earlier on in the under-23 race for women, and he's coached by his father Clark, as indeed is Jodie. And Luke McCann, who's doing Ireland proud here. He just missed qualification for the Olympics earlier this year over 1500 metres. He was trekking all around Europe on the continental tour in various meets, getting into anywhere he could, trying to get that automatic standard. He fell just short of it. He's in South Africa recently on a training camp, and I think he had to make sure he came home quite early with the Omicron variant to ensure he'd be eligible to participate here today. And he's been back in Ireland for the last couple of weeks, and here he is in flying form. Luke McCann leading the way for Ireland, with Switzerland in second. I think it is France closing down there into third. Switzerland, it's Michael Curti of Switzerland. France, it is Azzedine Habs closing in for third. And then Britain, it's Luke Duffy trying to hoist them back up into the medal contention and try and defend the title they won 2 years ago in Lisbon. But at the moment, this has taken a lot of people by surprise. It's Ireland by a street, but can Luke McCann hold it all together over this last 800 metres?
Keep your eye on that French athlete in third, Azzedine Habaz. His personal best is 3:31. That is just a class apart in this field. We thought we might see Adrian Ben for Spain, a fantastic 800 metre runner, but he's not actually on the list for today. So I would say on track calibre, Habs of France really is your standout competitor. Can he make some inroads into Luke McCann, or did Ciara McGeehan just give them such a great lead that Ireland are going to hold on to it into this second leg?
Yeah, it's hard to know. It's all to play for here. We saw Toth out front early at this stage in the last leg, but once she hit that uphill, and perhaps just the speed of the others shined a little bit better in the last 400 metres. But Luke McCann, that's the first time he's looked around. Any experienced coach will tell you, do not ever look around. Don't give the athletes behind you hope that you're hurting. Don't let them know, because everyone's hurting just as much. But Luke McCann, he's certainly not letting up the gallop as he runs on that slight downhill section, just letting him use those long levers he has. The long stride carries him down that hill, and this is where it gets really hard. This is the equivalent of the bell, but it's a bell with an uphill stretch as he runs towards the home straight. But he has the weight of 7,000 screaming fans in his ears right now, and Luke McCann looks to be running as strong as ever. Switzerland and France leading the way in the battle for silver.
So I think it's good to be out there on your own in this sort of race. Luke McCann, he can conserve that energy, he can make sure he finishes strong. If you get caught up in a battle and almost use your energy at the wrong point in the race, whereas Luke McCann can run around relaxed, he can get a good look at the course, and then now he can concentrate on emptying that tank, just like Ciara McGeehan did. She ate away at the other competitors in that last 100 metres, eking out every second she could. And Luke McCann can do the same as he powers home on this second leg for Ireland. Holding on to that lead, I think he's maintained a fantastic gap over second and third. Switzerland have done very well to hold on to second. Looks like it could be France challenging for that, but it is Ireland out in the lead.
Luke McCann is deep in the hurt locker right now. You can see the pain etched on his face, but he is still running strong, and he will have to now focus on the tricky task of taking off that wristband and handing it over safely. A brilliant run by Michael Curti of Switzerland gets them a lot closer. Luke McCann is now out on his feet. He is hurting big time, the 23-year-old Irishman, but he's maintained that advantage that Ciara McGeehan built, and off goes Siofra Cleric Butner, the fastest Irish indoor 800 metre runner in history. She's run 2 minutes flat, but this is going to be a big test of her endurance calibre. Back in her teenage years, Siofra Cleary-Butner, she won every single schools title and underage title there was to win in Ireland at cross country. But as a senior athlete, she's based over in Boston now under the guidance of coach Mark Coogan. She has become more of an 800 metre athlete, but she's still very accomplished at 1500 metres. She's run 4:10 for that distance. But if there is a link on the Irish team that people would wonder about, then it's putting Siofra Cleary-Butner, who's primarily an 800 metre runner, out there for a 1500 metre leg over cross country. But she has the class to carry this home, and at the moment she's certainly using her gears to build that advantage over the opening 200 metres.
And again, this being the fourth running of this event, I truly think that first leg is so important. I think if you can get yourself out in the lead and then maintain it, that is easier than chasing. Mentally, it's fun to chase and it's a little bit of a relief, and I'm sure Siofra's feeling the pressure right now out there, but you can pace yourself a lot better on this. And I wonder if we're going to see some big moves from the British team and the Spanish team, the repeat medalists in this event. But at the moment, they are sitting in 5th and 6th. You can see there the Spanish team just coming around the corner, and then Alex Bell there in 6th place, the Olympic finalist. What can she have a heroic leg for the British team and haul them back into the medals?
Yeah, Marta Garcia, Spain just ahead of her, trying to get them back up into medal contention. The title they won back in 2018 when this brilliant event was first introduced to the European Cross Country Championships. It's proved hugely successful, and it's given a lot of 1500 metre, 800 metre athletes something to aim for through the winter months, and given them a tangible target to try and bring some glory to their nations during the winter months and let them be part of the whole cross country experience when perhaps 8 kilometres, 6 kilometres, 10 kilometres might prove beyond a lot of them. The sun is beating down now here. It's a lovely day here in Fingal-Dublin, and Siofra Cleary-Butner is simply floating over the ground. The ground has cut up quite a bit. This is the muddiest section there she goes through, but this is something the South Dubliner will have grown up her whole life. She'll have run on stuff like this, Siofra Cleary-Butner, and she looks to be running well, but I think that advantage is starting to close, and the main reason is that Alexa Lemaitre of France is starting to eat into it. She has just passed out Vanessa Sconet of Belgium.
Alexa Lemaitre, another steeplechase that we saw Anna Toth so strong on that first leg. I do wonder if a steeplechaser would be best suited to this event. You can see Alex Bell as well. She has flown through the field already into 3rd place. Could Alex Bell haul the British team back into contention for a medal, or maybe even the win? I feel like Siofra Cleary-Butner will have saved a tiny bit. I think as an 800 metre runner, she gets into that last 400 and she empties the tank, as we spoke about with the other athletes. I think she will maintain this lead, but it might not be as big as it was with Ciara McGeehan or Luke McCann, and we could have a really fascinating race on our hands for this final leg.
I think it's going to be an amazing final leg, and with an Irish home crowd here cheering them on, it'll be all the better. But Alex Bell, quietly, steadily, with that just efficient low to the ground running stride she has, she is covering ground brilliantly. Here is Alex Bell, the Olympian, 1:57 for 800. On paper she's probably the classiest athlete in this field in terms of her track times, but this is a big step up to run a 1500 metres across country. But she knows this game well, having been part of that victorious British team 2 years ago, and she is eating into the advantage of Siofra Cleary-Butner in a big way, and it could well come down to a 5-team race for the gold, bronze, or gold, silver and bronze between Ireland, Britain, Belgium, France and perhaps Spain, if indeed their 3rd leg runner Marta Garcia can race something over this final 200. But they're running up towards the final turn here. There's only about 200 metres left in this leg. Siofra Cleary-Butner, you can see how much pain she's in. It's a whole lot of pain, but she has done her nation proud here, trying to hold on to this lead. But Alex Bell looks like she might be able to kick into the lead in this final 200.
It's a massive run off Alex Bell, so well known for her 800 metre exploits, but she is fantastic over the country. It's mind-boggling how someone that can run 1:57 can also be so competent over cross country. She's great over a 6 or an 8k cross country as well, and she's taken her team from 6th place to 3rd place. Siofra Cleary-Butner doing everything she can to hold on to that 2nd place. Belgium still in contention there with Vanessa Scount, but it will be a battle between Andrew Coscaran and Ben West, I think, for this gold medal.
And it's set up so perfectly, because Ben West is a 3:40 1500 metre runner, the final leg runner for Britain. Andrew Coscaran is a 3:35 1500 metre runner, so if you put that 5 seconds together it should end up pretty close. And just looking at the Belgian anchor runner we've just been given the start list, Stijn Batin is their final leg runner. He is a 3:37 athlete, so he's in the middle of the two of them. This could be a 3-way battle for the gold. Benjamin West has got the bib. Off he goes. In behind him then for Belgium on that anchor leg That is Steen Betten. He is in second. Andrew Coskren back in third, the fastest of all three of them, and with adrenaline no doubt coursing through his veins. Off goes Great Britain with a 4-second advantage, 5 seconds then back to Ireland. Andrew Coskren's going to join the Belgian in second in that race for silver, but who knows what could happen. We've seen how this changes so often in that third leg with Britain getting to the front. Can Andrew Coskren get the Irish back to the top of the podium?
Ben West was a strong, dominant victor of that British short trial, so he has the calibre to run over this sort of terrain. This is not dissimilar to the British trial in Liverpool, but has he got the nerve? Can he keep himself calm enough and pace himself? Shofar Clear Butner, she looked great out there in the lead, but she got caught in those closing stages, and Alex Bell just totally flipped this race on the head, taking the British team from 6th to 1st and giving them that lead. Can Ben West hold on and defend the charge that's coming behind him? You can see Andrew Coskren then already into second place, giving chase.
Yeah. Well, Alex Bell took 10 seconds out of the field in that leg. 4:48 for her split. The next quickest being 4:58 by Belgium.
If there are any drinks, if there's a victorious British celebration tonight, if they get the gold here, it'll certainly be Alex Bell who will be getting a free one from her teammates, because that was a heroic third leg from the British Olympian. But Benjamin West, can he hold this together? It looks like he's gone out hard, and I think that's a tactic, a specific tactic to try and demoralise his rivals. When you've got the 4 or 5 second advantage he has, if you do go out hard with tiring athletes in behind, you can almost give them a visual idea that they're further ahead in front of you than they look, and he looks to have extended that advantage over the first 600 metres. But the big question is, what's he got left for this last kilometre?
I think you're right, Cathal, and they won't see him. They can't see him now. There's enough turns in this course, and that's what you want to do to your competitors. You want to be out of sight. How disheartening is that? You can't even see the person ahead of you. But Andrew Coskren, as have all the Irish athletes so far this morning and this afternoon, he will give it absolutely everything. But it is now a three-way race for the silver and the bronze medal.
Yeah, that is Belgium's it's France's Alexis Millier, and it is Belgium's Steen Betten in the battle for silver along with Andrew Coskren. He's the best of them on paper over 1500 metres, but this is a very different environment to the track and to the Olympic Games they'd be used to, and running around Europe in good conditions in midsummer. This is cold, this is wet, this is muddy. Here at Fingal-Dublin, Andrew Coskren rounds that bend in the silver medal position. Spain there still hanging on back in 5th. Victor Luis is a fine athlete, but he'll have to find something superhuman to get them up into the medals. But who knows, some of these athletes could fall apart on this long uphill run towards the finish.
Alexis Millet, he's got past form in this event. He's picked up medals for France before. He knows what he's doing. Can he convert? He's got a silver from 2018, a bronze from 2019. I'm sure he'd love another silver. But Luke McCann, this might be a senior Great Britain debut, and at the moment holding on to that gold medal position in this mixed relay. But watch out, Spain are coming as well.
Spain are definitely coming, and as we talked, they're always big kickers, but Andrew Coskren is up in that second place, but the Belgian still looks comfortable. Batten, as indeed does Millet of France. Victor Ruiz has a big kick. Look out for him in this home straight. If he gets a sniff of that silver or bronze medal, he will grab it with both hands. But it looks like the gold yet again is heading to Great Britain and Northern Ireland, because Benjamin West is around this final turn. He'll have about 150 metres to run. He proved his form over cross country with that run recently in Liverpool, and he has put on an absolute clinic here. He got it with a 4-second advantage. He has grown that substantially over the last 1200 metres or so. This is going to be gold for Great Britain and Northern Ireland. The battle in terms of competitiveness is about the silver. It's between France, Ireland and Belgium, but there's no doubt about the winner. A brilliant performance on the third leg by Alex Bell. Hands over to Benjamin West. It's going to be gold for Britain. It's so close for second. Andrew Coskren is fighting with Millet and Batten for the silver. That's going to be very close, but gold here once again, as it was 2 years ago in Lisbon. It goes to Great Britain and Northern Ireland, and Benjamin West is best in Dublin. And it is Alexis Millet gets the silver, just ahead of Belgium's Steen Betten. France in second, Belgium in third, and disappointment, bitter disappointment for the Irish after leading for so long that they slipped to fourth, just outside the medals. But a brilliant performance by the Brits. We wondered halfway through the race if they were even going to get a medal, but they didn't just get a medal. They didn't even just win, they won it well, Hannah.
Well, they've totally disproved my theory that you need to be leading in the first few legs, so I'll go away and rewrite my mixed relay cross-country tactics. But it's just such a fantastically entertaining event. I think you're right. I think it gives something to the track runners, gives them something to get excited about. And for the junior age groups, doing a 4K or a 6K, you can do it, but you get to senior, and the European Cross-Country Championships just isn't accessible to you. But I think adding in an event like this, to have athletes of this calibre come and battle it out for their nations and pick up those medals is fantastic. And you can see British team delighted with that gold. It was great to see the emotion on that silver medal for the French and the bronze medal for Belgium as well.
We've seen many shocks today. We see the final standings there. Great Britain and Northern Ireland take gold, adding to that massive haul of overweight golden baggage they'll be bringing back across the water tomorrow. And then it was Belgium, I think, wasn't it, in second as the results disappear, and it was, I'm sorry, it was France in second and Belgium in third.